All right, let's resume, shall we? I've got it back up. Here we go. All right, so back on track. So yes, you can, where I left off, you can, put your own images in your slideshow if you want to. Also on this setup area, you can set up, your security. If you have volunteers that, work for you, you may want to designate certain, employees or volunteers to have access to certain areas of the program. For instance, sometimes we let visitors come in and so if they search the catalog, technically, if this back when this was our only computer, that was going to be something we were going to have to worry about. So you can go through here and name certain people and assign tasks or permissions for what parts of the program they can access. For example, if you do have a visitor coming in here just to search the collection and see what you have, you may want to restrict them from being able to add or edit or delete records. Yeah, if you have certain people that are using the financial or the donor section or the campaign section of this software, you may want to restrict who has access to that. So you can assign roles, here I'm clicking through them right now, and you can restrict what, you can activate the security, you can clear restrictions, restrict everything of what they're allowed to touch in this area. Yeah, like what activities are they allowed to do, what reports are they allowed to access, things like that. There is a Past Perfect online and a virtual exhibit options on here, as well as inventory manager. You may want to restrict who has access to those, and you can assign these folks, and I believe you can also give them you have to give them a login or a passcode to get into when they log into the system if you enable the security. It's a nice feature if you have more than one person using this platform, and you don't necessarily want them to go in and change things. So it's something you guys can set up if you want to. So that's a cool feature of the program under setup. Keyword search, if you're looking for something, oh, that happens. You can, find things in your indexes. So you can create custom fields in here. I've not used the mapping, but if you have certain tasks that you use regular or often, you can set up function keys for this. If you want to use it. If you're not necessarily tech savvy and you don't think you're going to use it, I don't use this. You don't have to. That's the beauty of it, is you can use it for whatever you need it to. It's got lexicon under here. That's your nomenclature. I believe it's 4.0. That, if you're looking for what to call things and categorize stuff in your collection when you're putting it in here. So you can check that out. What else do I got under setup? Again, search field security. You can enable the spell check. If you have a volunteer or employee, that sometimes that's a struggle. You can enable that. Contacts, collections, you can name collections, you can, all this stuff cross-references itself. And then on the utilities end, that's more if you're using, what's good about this program also is if you already have, some of your stuff inventoried or cataloged in Excel or a spreadsheet, you can import that stuff. You are going to make sure that your fields with your other database are in conjunction with, what Past Perfect is wanting. And you also are going to make sure you if you have duplicates, that's going to create some problems for you. So before you import any kind of other, database that you have for your collection, you're going to want to make sure that everything corresponds and that you don't have duplicate records, or it's going to give you a headache when you upload it, and you're going to have a heck of a time unraveling that knot. You also can, if you have images that you didn't scan Like, for example, you necessarily can't scan an artifact, a physical artifact, into using the multimedia function. So you may have to take your own picture with your own digital camera, and you can upload that into the system and attach it to the record using the multimedia upgrade if you get it. So you can do that. You can also export records if you need to. You can. This is where you would do your system restore if you restore your backups if you need to. You need to clean out a recycle bin if you've got some records that you fudged up and you don't need them. You know, you can clear that out under utilities. So I talked about a little bit earlier, it does more than just obviously artifact cataloging. It can do your financial and fundraising stuff as well. And that's what's over here on the right side of the screen on this. You can upload all of your contacts and how you would do that. Anytime you need to add something new, if you need to add a contact, if you need to add a session record, if you need to add catalog record, there's your toolbar here at the top. So if you need to add something, you just click add, fill the field out with the information, and add new contact. And you just click that once you get in there, and it's in the system. And once you get, I encourage everyone, if you have a lot of donors and you haven't put them in the system already, or donors in terms of artifacts and archival materials, as well as financial contributions and things like that, you may want to go ahead and take a day and enter all of those folks in, so they're in there, and then you can just select them if you're especially working with artifacts and books and photographs and things like that. You can find them and double click, and it automatically attaches it to the record. So I recommend, if you're using this for the first time, and you have those lists of those donors, go ahead and enter those into the contact information first. That'll save you a lot of time with things, and it gives them an ID number, as you can see right here. This, my new one would be donor 157, and you can go in here and delete folks if you mess it up. So that's how you would enter a new contact. As you can see here, again, fill out what you have. The Historical Society has been around since 1963. And a lot of our early donors are no longer with us. They've passed away. And so, I may not have an email address or a cell phone or any of these things because it didn't exist at that time. But whatever information that you have for them, just enter it in. The beauty of this is that you don't have to use all of it if you don't want to. Okay, so contacts, you can do that over there. Contact lists, you can build lists of people. If you need to, you just create a new list. So if you have just donors, employees, like if you see here on the right, over here, my right, never donate. You can sort people if you need to, if you want to use it for this. Again, if you're using something else, or if you're paying for donor software and you have Past Perfect, you may want to think about combining the two. It's up to you what you want to do. It's up to your institution, what you want to do. But yeah, you can create a new list. Okay, at least one list of the folder. So I haven't done that, but you can. All right. So pledges and receipts. Again, if you have who takes memberships, pledges, donations, again, you just enter that stuff in there. And I believe you would just enter pledge. And oh, look, you have donors, the donors on the left, and you can just double click. Let me see, I'll just pull one out of here. Bingo, there she is. If you have a campaign, you can type it in. Whatever it is, you just have drop down when they did it. Is it a single payment? Is it a memory gift? You can do all of this in here, and it cross-references itself. Again, I've not used this, but maybe sometime I may want to with this. But yes, so you can do, pledges. Same thing with donations. Receipts, same thing. You can do that. Yeah, membership dues. And you can, I mean, if you look through here, you got calendar year, you know, you can do that. All right. So you can keep track of your donations and pledges and membership dues in this if you want to. If you have a, you know, active, an active campaign for fundraising for your institution, you can do that. Again, you just got to remember, anytime you're adding anything new, you can't just click in here because it's not going to work. So you always need to add and then put it in and then save it, and you're good to go. Also look here that you can put in, you can upload stuff from Excel spreadsheets, in-kind donations. You can set up thank you letters in this if you want to. Again, I don't use it for this, but you can do it. And just for a tip going for any of the things that you're using in here, to know if it's actively entering information, you got to make sure that these text boxes here or these fields are in this nice soft yellow color. That's how you know that it's ready to be editable. And again, once you're done, you just save it and it's in there. And it even has here, if you see on the right, you have a little, you know, little kind of like those little thermometer bars there to show you how well you're doing. So if you want to use it, you know, have at it. And if you need to start over again, you cancel it. Yes, there you go. So you can use it. And anytime, again, you're wanting to exit out of a program, you just go to this upper toolbar at the top and exit out. So that's some of the, you know, more kind of administrative, financial part of, you know, this program. But I'm sure you all are probably more interested in the collections aspect of this. So if you look to the left here on my screen, you see your object catalogs here, and you see the activities here at the bottom. You see temporary custody, accession, exhibits, incoming loan, outgoing loans, and deaccessions. You can do all of that stuff on here if you want. And if you again, you want to totally do it in a digital format, this is probably good for you. If you don't want to do hard copy forms for things, you can do all that here. You have your temporary custody, accession. There you go. And again, to add, you just click it. And again, you can select, see, here you go. Select donor from contacts file. If you already have those donors listed in there, you can just click that, double click on the donor, and it automatically populates the field or puts the information in, and you're good to go. And then you would add the new receipt and continue to fill out the rest of the form here in the back. So once you would add, you would just type in there, and then when you're done typing with all the information that you have, you can save it and it's in there. So temporary custody, accession record, here you go. Here's one that's already filled out. And what's also good about this is you can, up here using your toolbar, you can go to the very beginning and you can just scroll through and go through there with those, with all the accession numbers. And you can see here that you can mark it as a gift, who received it, when it came in, who accessioned it. If you have a, an appraisal on something, sometimes you do the appraisals, you can put that in there. And it populates everything. So again, if you want to add a new accession record, you can just click up here at the top, add, put in your accession number, whatever numbering system you have. If the donor is in there, select donor from file and then add the new record, and you're good to go. And then you populate and just fill out the rest of the information. As you can see, you can, do whatever. While I'm at it, and I'm on this one in particularly, I see a typo in this already. So what you can do, if you go through records regularly and you notice that there's some, you maybe need to add new information, or you need to edit because there's a typo. I find typos in here quite a bit. You go to your edit and click on that. and go over where the issue is, change it. And so I know it's in edit mode because it's yellow. Okay, so you just got to be mindful of that. If it's yellow, you can edit. But before I save this, I want to talk a little bit about the authority files. So if you notice that there is a little blue box with a white A right there, that means that you have access to use authority files to help populate those boxes. Again, the authority files save you time. I highly recommend using them, especially if you have consistent volunteers and consistent donors. You know, you can set up authority files and all you have to do is pop them in there. So how that works is, you know, here is Ted Wolf as one of our volunteers here. So he has sessioned this particular, you know, a session number piece, this travel diary. So you can right click on the field, and I have volunteers listed in here. And so if I know that Ted did this and Ted is in my system, you just double click him and he pops in there. How you would add new ones is there's this little plus sign up here. And you would add new entry and that person's name and then hit the enter key and then you're good to go. Okay. You can delete folks if you have someone that doesn't work with you guys anymore, or you know, things like that. You can go in. I have one volunteer that doesn't work for me anymore. So we'll go here and you click the X and it asks you, do you want to remove it? And you say yes, and they're gone. So you can edit these too. Connor's another one that doesn't, you know, necessarily work with us anymore because he was a student with us. So you can edit these authority files if you need to. You can add whatever you need. That's again, the ease of the system. Same thing with here, like received, like anytime, like, so this is an authority file, that is one. This is, that's not. If you have a gift, oh, here you go. If you have a found in collection piece, you can scroll down and find it. Whatever it is, if it's deaccession, yeah. If you deaccession something, you will go into this record and mark that. You know, if it was purchased, if it's claimed property, again, there's a lot of, you know, fields and options you can use to accurately fill out what's going on. You have an abandoned loan, that's a thing. So once you're done, you know, populating and entering your information, all you got to do is hit save, and there you go. And again, if you look here on the left, you can have, again, if you need to do that deed of gift, there you go. There you go. Print, preview. Yeah, it fills it out. So if you don't want to mess with using your own deed of gift forms anymore, and you have this, that's totally fine. Again, you use it for what you need it to do. All right, so that's your session record. Exhibits, if you're doing exhibits, you can put that information in here. Again, just to add it, you put it in, enter your information. And that's all you do with that. You return thing, catalog records. Yeah, there you go. All exhibit. You can view if you have multiple exhibits, you know, past exhibits that are closed, it'll list all the artifacts that you have in that particular exhibit. It'll go in here if you want to use it for that. Again, up to you what you want to do. Same thing with incoming, outgoing loans to keep track of that stuff. Same thing. Again, you just add it, put it in. If you have a lender, again, lender in your contact file, that's why you want to do that contacts list first. And add it in there, then just select it, add new loan, and then fill out the rest of it and then save it. It's pretty, again, outgoing loans, same thing, same kind of format with, you know, tracking numbers. You have tracking numbers, use that. Again, renewal dates, if there's a value on it, again, just use it for what you need it to do. And then again, deaccessions. Deaccessioning, for those of you who are, I'm assuming we all know what that is, but again, that's if you remove something permanently from your collection. Again, you can notate that stuff in here. Yeah. So those are kind of some activities you can do. When I train my volunteers on using this platform, I kind of give them an order of operations in which to kind of facilitate so you don't get confused and forget a step. Typically, and again, whatever you want to do is up to your institution, but I usually, again, add those contacts first, then I do my accession and temporary custody things, and then I go in and add into the catalog records, which are these 4 categories here. So you see you have objects, you have photos, you have archives, and you have library. So whatever particular material, artifact, object you're working on, you're going to select the appropriate, catalog, subcategory here. Again, objects is more your 3-dimensional things, photo, what the difference is. So, but what's interesting is that each different category in the catalogs has a little bit of a different setup with how it looks. So we'll click on objects first, because it's at the top. So that is what the object catalog looks like. There's lots of things that looks kind of scary with all this information. But again, you fill out whatever you want to fill out. This here, we do have a bonnet from the late 1800s. And you can see, again, date, you do it, again, to edit, this one's a new one, edit, you have a collection. If you need to rename the object, that's not necessarily the best object terminology for object name for it. You can go in there and find it and double click it and add it into the system. If you need to change anything. Again, with this, if you know a creator, if you know who made it, you can type that in there. If you have provenance, type it in there. We'll talk about authority files. Again, like if you have old numbers or home locations, again, there's an authority file. A collector authority file. Again, if you have this stuff, go ahead and add it in there. There's these other pages on here. If you have an archaeological, if it's more of an art piece, you can get, even more detailed. If it's like, if you have a rock collection, here you go. There's a geology subcategory where you can enter in rock type and all that stuff if you need to. History. And then natural history. And if you need to make custom fields for certain things, you can absolutely do that. I'm going to click right here. Again, if you have appraisals, you can enter that in there, enter edit mode. Again, if you need, it's an edit mode by it being yellow. Again, the lexicon, you can add extra names for these things. Location, where is it? Classification and search terms. So if you're looking for it, if you're doing an exhibition, or if someone calls you on the phone or emails you and say, hey, do you have this thing? You can, on this particular subject or person, you can, enter in search terms to help you find it. It's there. If it's connected to any publications or related items in the collection, you can add that. Here's your source. There's my donor right there. If there's any maker's mark notes on it, if you have china or porcelain or glass even, you can put that stuff in there. If you had it in a virtual exhibit, again, you would just add it. So again, the beauty of it is you just add what you need to. Now, while I have this open on edit mode, if you notice here at the top under edit mode, you see save, you see cancel, change a session number. Let's say you accidentally wrote the wrong accession number in it, you can change that. Deaccession, you can do that up there. If you accidentally put an artifact in the wrong catalog category, sometimes you may want to put postcards, if you have a postcard that doesn't maybe have some correspondence written on the back of it, you may want to maybe put that in your photo files as opposed to your archival files. So you know, if you accidentally put it in the wrong one, you can change the catalog on it, and it'll populate it in the new catalog. So yeah, it's really, really fairly easy. It seems like a lot. You see a lot of this, a lot of words, a lot of things to click on. But my best, tip for that is use what you want to. Use what's relevant to the thing that you're cataloging. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and save this. And again, to add a new one to this, you just, again, go up to your toolbar up here at the top, click add, enter your session number. If your object ID and a session number are the same thing, you can have that pre-filled by checking this box down here where my little mouse cursor is, and go at it. You can go ahead and find your object name by clicking on the lexicon and scrolling through there. If you sometimes, the lexicon's really nice because if you don't necessarily know what it is, you can search through this really long list and find it. It's very, very thorough. It's a very thorough lexicon and nomenclature. So you should be able to find something that relates to it. And I always like to add more than one kind of artifact or object name or purpose because sometimes things are multifunctional, and I just think that you have 3 lexicon spaces, so get that identified as much as possible. Like here you go. If I go back on it, so object name, you can add another object name if you want to. You can add up to 3 object names actually. So yes, so that is your object catalog. So let's take a look at photos. Again, it's going to look a little different. Okay. So here we have a collection name. And again, we have numbers and where it is, provenance, the sizing, what medium is it. Again, if you need to edit any information in here, hit edit. You see that the little yellow box is active. And I have an authority file in that collection. If I show you that, if I right click it, so those are some of my collections that I have. And again, if it relates to it, you just double click it and it pops it in the box for you. So again, taking time to do those donors and also maybe setting up some authority files if you have larger collections might be worth your time. So yes, again, along here on the side, you have your appraisals. You can add that in there. Condition reports, you can do condition reports in this, in this program. And when you need to do new ones, if you look over here on the right, there's a little box here. And if I save it real quick, you need to add a new condition report. You can do that just by adding that plus sign and just put all that information in there and save it, and it attaches it to the record. So fantastic. So you can do that. Again, lexicon, where is it? If you have any notes and legals on here, if you have some restrictions, put those in there. Again, search terms are very important when you're trying to find something. Again, if there's related things to this piece, attach that and put the numbers with it. Again, you can add it. You add the number. Where is it? Object name. You can do all this. Source, again, who's the donor? There you go. It's all in there. And again, when you want to add something new, you just hit the add button, enter in your information, your object name, and add new record, and just start filling it out with the information that you have at hand. So that's the photo catalog. Again, if you need to scroll through and find other things, hit those arrow keys at the top. There you go. Again, if you need to print something, mainly when you're using this platform, you're going to use 2 sections to edit or do anything. You're going to use this top toolbar at the top, and you're going to use this toolbar, these little pages on the left to do things. Okay, that's the photo catalog. Archives, again, looks a little different. And with this one, you have additional pages here on the bottom half. Again, if you have maps, here you go. Music, if it's music, oral history. You've got narrator. You just, again, you just edit the information and go in and just go and add it as you have it. Again, you have the appraisals, condition, container list. If you have boxes, you can add that. Nomenclature, here you go. So here's where I have 3 object names. So it's a memoir, a narrative, and a manuscript. So it just better identifies things for you. And again, a lot of these are the same. Again, if you need to add a new record, when you're ready to add a new record, you just, again, do the same thing with the others. You add it and then fill out the rest. If you screw up, you just cancel out of it. So that is, here's these. I'll go through these. Context, structure. If you have, again, appraisals, accruals, systems of arrangement. If you're of an archive mind and you work for archives, you know what that is. Conditions of access and use. We have here where the stuff does not leave the room. It does not go out of this building. So you can add those. If you have allied materials, put it in there. If you have any descriptions, and if anybody does your collection descriptions, you can put that in there. So that's how this one's a little different. And again, if you have, it's a music collection, there's different little fields that you can fill out if you need to. Okay, archiving. And then library, again, it looks a little different, but very similar. So again, if you have yearbooks, you have stuff with ISBNs and Library of Congress numbers, edit those, add them as you get them. This is a yearbook, and we have it. You can put the editions, who published it, what edition it is. Is there a specific event that's tied to it? Again, authority files up there. And again, if you see here on the left, you have those, again, that appraisal, condition report, lexicon, location, notes, and legal. So those are fairly consistent on the left. So use those as you need to. And again, if you need to, when you're ready to add a new record, you just add and put it in there. So that's how that works. Does anybody have any questions so far about stuff that I've kind of taught? I know I'm kind of breezing through it a little bit. But does anybody have any questions about some of the features, the specific features of any, the contacts and the pledges, or, the collections stuff? We can move on. There is ways to find records of stuff that you've already entered. For research purposes, I use that a lot, especially since we put in, the search terms. It's very important to kind of put in as many search terms as you can to kind of find it. So yeah, let's go down here to research. So you can find stuff by a variety of different ways. So you have your catalog lists, if you have lists. I don't have any lists, but if you have a list of specific things, you can find stuff based on lists. I don't want to dare click on anything that I don't use, so I'm afraid it's going to shut the thing down again. Catalogs, you can, field, catalog date, you can find stuff. Condition, greater than, add a statement, you can find it through that. I don't use the catalog search very often. What I tend to use is keyword, lexicon, people, or just general search terms. Let's say I want to find, I don't know. I'm trying to think what I want to look up. Let's find a map. No, there we go. All right, start search. Bingo. There's all my maps that are in the system. And if you want to actually go to any of these specific things, everyone, you can just hover your cursor over one of these and just double click on it, and it takes you to it. There it is. And it even has highlighted the keyword search on there. So here is a map of Highland Park that is in our collection. It's an oversized box too. And if you want to see a larger image of that particular item, you just go under, if you have, again, that multimedia upgrade, you just click image management, and bingo, there it is. And you can take, I think we only have the one side of it, but typically I like to do front and back of things, but there's a larger image of that. And if I scroll over the next image, there's other maps that I have in my collection that are everywhere. So, it'll scroll through the things that you've marked as maps on your search. And again, just to get out of this, you hit exit, and to go back to your search, you go to exit, and there's the rest of your search results. And you can scroll through those, and it has the numbers there for you, what it is, descriptions. If you scroll over using the little scroll bar here at the bottom, there you go. There's a, you know, different, what's this one? I don't know if I've seen this. Okay. So there you go. There's another map. So yeah, you can find specific things. I can clear the results, get rid of it. I can search maybe diary, and see what I get. Bingo, there you go. So you can search for stuff if you need to. If you're specifically looking for anything, again, if you have a request come in for research, you can, you know, find that information. And again, when you're done with it, you can clear results. Like you could do name searches, but there's ways to find stuff using these tools. Lexicon, I could find, you know, I can scroll down. Oh, I don't know. I don't have a lot of my artifacts in here yet, but let's see. I don't think I have any of my quotes in here, but you can get, oh, here we go. I can just double click yearbook, and there's all my yearbooks in the collection. And again, to find one in particular, just go over to it, double click, there it is. If you need to go through and again edit it, you can do that. But there you go. If you need to look at the image of it, there it is. I don't think we don't have, oh, that's the next images. But yeah, if you need to see the back or front of back of something, don't use this up here, use this down here. So this one doesn't have the back of it photographed or scanned. I like to have a front and back scan of things that are of the book or photograph, postcard variety. There you go. And then when you're done with it, you can exit it back and it takes you back to your search. And when you're ready to do a new search, again, start new one and, you know, go through that. As I said, there's tons of object names. You're going to, if you don't know what to name something, it's in here 9 times out of 10. I don't know what else we can pick up here. I don't have my butter mold in there yet, but yeah, whatever. You can search it by, you know, lexicon if you want. People, again, there's a people list. That's why you put in your search terms. So you can, again, it's alphabetical by last name. So I could find, you know, anybody. There you go. One of my favorite people is that we've been talking about is, oh, is this by first name? Maybe it is. Okay, it is. So Mabel Growich is one of our favorite people to talk about here at the Historical Society. So let's see if I can find her. Also, if you want to do a quick find, you can just highlight it and type in the first like couple letters and it'll take you up to where you need to be. Where is she? There we go. There, Mabel Lee. Is she in here? No, she's not in here yet. Yep. No. Okay. Anyway, you can search for people with this, which is kind of cool. Again, if you need to do a new search, just go at it. Search term, same thing. Like if you've got like, you know, I could do like Shinston tornado. Let's see if I can find the Shinston tornado stuff. There we go. There it is. So yeah, Shinston tornado. You can double click and there's all the stuff that I have that's connected to the Shinston tornado. So you can start at the top by double clicking and there you go. And you can scroll through using the top, all the pictures that I have. Sometimes it's a memoir. As I said, most of these are images. But yeah, you can use the search functions. I highly recommend taking the time to fill out those fields so you can find stuff later on. You can also put in people biographies and site locations if you want to, if you feel that that's pertinent. Biography, if you have famous people, you know, there you go. You can add that and edit that as needed. I usually don't use these reports. You know, you can do that if you want to. If you have reports on loans and, obviously you see pledges, research, searches, whatever, you can make those reports as needed. Quick find is if you have a number, an object number, and it's in the system, you can just type it in there and hit find, and it'll pull up that particular record if you need to find, if you have the number at hand. Now, I'm going to talk a little about, what we use here. Obviously, we have the multimedia upgrade for to attach, images and such to the records itself. I highly recommend that if you're going to purchase this software, or if you already have purchased this and you don't have that upgrade, and you probably should do that, and invest in that. I'll head to my photos particularly there. So how you add, a image to a record. Now, while you are filling out a record for the first time, it is not going to let you attach the image to the record until after you save it. Okay, I don't know why. That's just the way they do it. So once we filled out this one back in 2015, I did this one a long time ago. I saved it, and then you can add your images to it. So to add an image to a record, when you have a fresh record, this is going to be blank. So you would hit image management, and then you have two ways to acquire a new image. You can scan it in, which is this, and so you would hit that button. Or you can upload it from your hard drive of your computer. Either way, you can do it. And then once you have scanned it, it will ask you to put in the metadata. And then once you save the image, enter in your metadata. I don't know if it'll, yeah, you can, there you go. If you pull it from, your computer, you just pull it from your pictures files. So you can do that. You attach your metadata. You can attach multiple, things to it if you have them in different places. Captions, you can add the captions. If you need to remove it after you've uploaded, you don't like it, you can click the X. I'm not going to do that because it will remove this and I'll have to redo it. And then if and then delete the image, you can do that. If you accidentally have it, vertical instead of horizontal, you can rotate it and flip it, crop it, do whatever you need to. If you need to watermark it, yeah, once it's on there, it can't be removed from there. So if you're going to do that, make sure that's 100% what you want to do. And you can set it up if you already have it in place. Again, use it. If you have it, use it. And you can email it and save it and print it from this page. So yeah, so that's how you would upload that. I believe you can upload, let me see. I think you can upload, I want to say you can upload sound files to this, but don't hold me to it because I've yet to try it. So if you have oral histories, I'm thinking you can do that using this multimedia upgrade to the system. Okay. This is the last thing I kind of wanted to talk about today. So I'm going to, does anybody have any questions about the software? Put them in the chat box. I'm going to stop screen share for a second so I can see all your faces. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. If anybody's curious, I can talk about the different other options that you may have if you don't want to go with Past Perfect, and I can pull, this Past Perfect, the homepage up again. It is pricey if you don't have it, but it's a one-time thing typically. Also because since I purchased this software, we purchased ours back in 2015. And again, it is the latest version is version 5.0. They now do have a web edition if you want to do it on the web. The web edition, again, I'm not as familiar with because I use the desktop edition, but here you go. Again, you know, public access, there's that option. This is the price for that. Again, it does start to add up with this. As I said, it's a good platform. It does a lot of things, but it does, to get it to do other things, you are going to have to, you know, get add-ons for this. Like if you wanted, you want your collection to be searchable online, you can do, you know, PassPerfect online, but again, that's going to cost you, you know, X amount of dollars for the original installation, and then, you know, a yearly fee or subscription for hosting it every year based on how many records you have. So again, you've got to weigh the cost benefits of these. As I said, here's, you know, what I use. And that's what I showed you today on PassPerfect, on the online thing. So here you go. No. Okay. No, I want this. Here we go. Here we are. All right, again, here's the pricing. It again does that research reporting, the security backups. You know, I'm going to eventually be getting this network upgrade. I just got two newer PCs for my office, and so we will be doing the network upgrade for the two other computers. So again, because I'm an ASLH member, I'm going to be paying that $412 to do it. And I'm also going to be doing possibly the PassPerfect online feature so that it can be searched by folks on the net. And again, that's another fee on top of what you already pay for. So if you don't already have this and you're thinking about it, I know that I think someone asked me about like portability with this. Like if you have a laptop and you want to do it, you know, from that laptop, you're going to definitely want this network upgrade for it. So you're going to have to get that base software and that. Or, you know, if you just have the one PC and you want to take it, you know, possibly you could just get the standard one. It's up to you what you want to do. We have, as I said, right now, we just have it on the one desktop as of right now. So we don't need the, you know, the upgrade in terms of networking. Again, if you have a larger institution, you're going to, you know, need those higher upgrades for, you know, more users. But again, the standard is right here. And with that multimedia upgrade, which I do recommend people get if you're going to get this software, there it is. As I said, PassPerfect online does have, you know, also what may be a benefit, if I can go back to the PassPerfect web-based, is that is cloud-based in terms of saving and backing up everything. So, you know, if your computer goes down physically, your stuff's on the cloud, so you can retrieve it. So that is a benefit of maybe doing web edition as opposed to the other. Again, it just depends on what your comfort level is with tech. If you're not as comfortable, you know, the easier, the better for you, I would recommend. What else? Yeah, the trainings. You know, I've not done any PassPerfect trainings. You know, back when I was in graduate school, I think I learned on version 3, maybe 3.5. I can't recall. Might have been 2. So a lot of it has changed by the time that I learned with 5. And I just encourage folks to kind of play with it. You do have the option, and I'll pull it back up here. Go to the photo catalog. You do, at the very beginning, you do have a default entry that you can practice on that is, you know, not going to add or, you know, mess up any of your future cataloging. This is these default, which is the very beginning. When you start out, you can practice on these and edit them as needed. So if you're worried about, you know, doing some major damage or just really getting it all screwed up, you know, use those default entries. They're at the very beginning. So to find them, for me, just go to your arrow key, go to the very beginning, and there's your default practice 1. This will never become a part of your official, you know, cataloging. This is your practice. So use those. They're there for you to kind of play with. I encourage that. So I'll go back to that. So, you know, Pass Perfect Online, if you're, you know, not ready to have your stuff online searchable, don't worry about it. Now, the two other things that I have heard about in terms of cataloging software, and this one I just heard about a couple days ago, actually, it's called Catalog It. It's a subscription-based service, and it is cloud-based. So, again, there's different accounts and varying fees for those accounts. This is maybe good if you are a private collector. You know, sometimes corporations have archives and things, so this might be something that they, or nonprofits, you know, and then of course your typical museum and archive account. Again, it's got a lot of the same kind of features that Pass Perfect has. So again, those authority files, that networking, which is that multi-user collaboration, if you see there, again, web-based. Apparently you can do this on your smartphone and laptop and desktop things. So if that's something that you want, this might be a better fit for you. Again, you have image-centric browsing. You do have support, and you do have that platform for web-based publishing if you need to. You know, yeah, here you go. Catalog It is for a variety of different folks. So if you really want to maybe explore this as an option, I would maybe encourage you to do so. Yeah, you choose your account type. So here's the money side of it. Okay. So again, it's subscription. So unlike Pass Perfect, you're going to pay for this monthly. And again, if your institution if that's a better fit for your institution, then, you know, again, you just got to weigh the pros and cons of this. I have not used any of these, but I will recommend you check them out either way if you're making a decision on those softwares. So again, if you're a small museum, you know, it's up to $30, from $30 a month. And I'll scroll down here further. Let me go to the pricing part. Let me scroll to the top. Maybe. Let's go to the museum. There we go. Let's click it and see what we get to here. What it'll take me to, maybe. There we go. Here you go. Here's the subscription plans if you're interested in checking this out. Again, you know, a lot of us, you know, especially for my institution, you know, that $25,000 right now is what, if I were to think about this is where I'm going to go. It's $30 a month. So if you know, it's billed monthly. So this is maybe a potential option for you if you're looking for something that's more cloud-based. It's a little more portable. Yeah. There you go. You can work collaboratively on site and remotely. So that to me would be kind of great. If you're not always, especially with the pandemic, when you may not be in your office like I was, or we couldn't access our collection software because it was in our office. So this would have been maybe good for me during the pandemic. So, but if this fits what your institution does and needs, then you maybe want to check it out. All right, so that's Catalog It. And this is another one that I've heard about. It's called Collective Access. This one is free. To use. Again, it is purely all online. And then this is what it is. Again, free open source and managing your collections. This is a lot of tech language. You can map. Again, they use those authority files with, you know, subjects with the Library of Congress subject headings and all those other institutions. You can publish, you know, do public access. It's free online documentation and support. It's multilingual. It's got finding aids and a way to export stuff. So again, this is one I've not used. I've not used this in person. So I honestly, you know, can't say whether or not this will work for you or not. You're just going to have to maybe do some research and see what best fits your institution. But that is out there. So Catalog It is something new, and this Collective Access is something new. So I encourage you all, if you haven't purchased this software, you know, to think about some of those options. Okay. Well, that is it for me, everyone. So any last minute questions, comments? I really appreciate everyone with their patience this morning with the tech problems. You know, it happens, and sometimes it does that. It does that. And you can always, I'm going to put my information in the chat box if you want to reach out to me if you have additional questions. As I said, this video is going to be kind of disjointed because we started and stopped, but I'm going to do my best to get it out there. If there is, again, reach out to me. I'm going to put it in. So I'll give you, you can reach out to the museums of WV, which is the WVAM, Gmail, if you want to reach out that way. There's that. And then there is the one for the Historical Society, which is where I work on a daily basis. Again, feel free to reach out to me if you have questions. If folks are interested in, me doing this again without the tech problems, I will be happy to do that. If you know of any of your colleagues in the field that are interested in, me doing this again, I'm happy to do it for everyone. And make sure I have everything right. Okay, that is my information. Okay. Does anybody, anyone has any questions? That's very rare. I know it seems like it's very intimidating. It's really not. It's really meant to be user-friendly. It's meant to be, just multifunctional. And again, my biggest tip is use what works for you. You don't have to use everything if you don't want to. It's totally up to you what you want it to do. So if no one has any other questions, we will go ahead and end the session. We will be sending out all of our attendees from all of our workshop sessions. We'll be sending out a survey. So we'll have you fill that out and see what you think. If there's anything else that, we can offer to everyone. I know everyone's kind of in this weird place because of the pandemic, and, we're here to offer as much education sessions as we can to help all of you. So feel free to reach out to us. Follow us on WVAM on Facebook. We're there. If you would like to be on our email list for anything else that we're doing this fall, and if you're interested in our conference, which we're hoping to have in March 25 through 27 in 2021 here in West Virginia. If you're interested in any of those things, please let us know. Shoot us an email again at that museumsofwv@gmail.com, or messages on Facebook. We're happy to put you on our email list for stuff that we're doing. And again, if you want to follow us on Facebook, please do that. We'd appreciate that. We're here for whoever can benefit from, our information. So I'll go ahead. And I want to thank everyone for just attending our virtual conference because, as I said, this is something we've never done before. And we're so grateful that you all have been so patient with some of the technical things that have happened, especially today. I appreciate all of you and all the work that you do for, history, art, whatever kind of institution you're interested in. We're also all in this together. So thank you so much for joining us for our virtual conference. We will send out whatever we have of the recording to you. And if necessary, I might record a session on my own and put it up if it's not usable. So thank you all for joining us this afternoon. And we'll hope to be bringing you new things in the next several months and next year. So thank you guys so much and have a great afternoon.